Hello, everybody. This is Betsy here with Metabolism Mojo. You are in my Facebook group, so thank you for being part of my group. And I always try to do a weekly kind of talk that's just about something that you guys ask about a lot. So this week, our challenge that I created was to menu plan, and I want you just to do it faithfully. So every single one of my clients who goes through my program, that's step one, is that we got to be prepared. So I'm always figuring out and simplifying the process and helping others to say, how can we menu plan appropriately? So hi there, Mary, Andy, Linda. Thank you guys for coming. I always get excited when people come and join me. So thank you. Okay, so menu planning. Yes, I want to make sure that you guys are doing this on a consistent basis. So maybe a few questions for you to get started is, do you, at least weekly, do you kind of menu plan? Do you figure out what you want to make for the week? Okay. And if you're part of this right now, then, or you're watching later, just let me know. Do you think ahead and maybe have like a strategy session where you think and say, I want to make this smoothie and I want to make this salad and I want to make these healthy cookies that Betsy suggested, and I want to try this dinner entree. And so we need to do that. We need to do that regularly, okay? And from there, you want to make a list. So a lot of people, when they go food shopping, they just have their staple list that they always buy. Hey, Pat. And I know that if you just have a basic list and you always buy the same things, that you're going to come home and say, what do I cook for dinner tonight? I'm not really sure. So it's so important that you actually created a menu that you want to make. And then from that menu, you have a list. So you guys are probably going to think I'm a little anal, okay? But I've been in this business, obviously, for a long time. I have 3 kids. They're in sports. You know, I work a lot of nights these days. I am so busy and I need to be organized. So I'm very dorky, okay? And I have 4 rotating menus here. So in here, I tend to put in kind of a few breakfast ideas, a few snack ideas, and then I put in 5 dinner ideas and then 1 soup idea. So with that, I have a full shopping list. And I just go onto my online delivery service, Instacart, and I program it in, and it takes me about 10 minutes to do, and then it's all delivered, and I just rotate my menus because I'm a variety girl. So I've gotten it nailed down, and I have a few clients who have gotten to this level who want it to be really structured like this, and then a lot of people are just in more an exploration mode. But no matter what, all of you out there, you need to plan ahead. So that means that you need to figure out what you want to make for the week, and you want to be able to create a list. And then when you're exhausted at the end of the day and you're like, I don't feel like making dinner, you look at your list and you know you have all the ingredients and it's easy to put together. So that is menu planning 101. Okay. So I hope that got you a little bit inspired. But today I'm talking a little bit more about balance. And I just, want to say that a lot of people who especially are in the kind of diet realm, they're used to looking at, okay, how many calories should I have for a day? Like, what should my ratio be of calories for the whole day? What should be the carbs, the protein, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to say, I don't think that way. Okay. I think very differently than that. And it's just my experience of working with an endocrinologist. So I work with a hormone doctor who thinks about what the blood sugar should look like all day and how the hormones should be acting all day. And so it makes a huge difference when you're thinking this way. And so I tend to think about how I calculate this for my clients, but I'm going to, instead of think about calories, because honestly, I don't care about calories. And I think a lot of you probably know more about calories than I do, but it doesn't really work, the calories ratio or the calorie equation when your metabolism is damaged. And I talk a lot about that in general in all of my notes and in my articles. So in general, what I do is I calculate first of all, I calculate the protein needs of my clients. And that's going to be depending on what their ideal weight is, and then also their activity level and their age. and just how their metabolism is already. So I calculate the protein level. From there, I come up with a ratio for the carbs. So then I say, okay, this person has diabetes, so they might be more insulin resistant, where I would be more cautious on the carbs. Or I work with a lot of athletes. I just saw Barb join here. So Barb's on my Dragon Boat team, and we know that when we are like in heavy duty training mode, we need a lot of nutrition and a lot of fuel. So the carb levels tend to go up when you are more active. So I might do maybe more of a 2-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. So, or maybe it's a lot of my clients who are trying to lose weight, but they have adrenal issues. I'm going to do like a 1.5-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein, which a lot of you, that's not going to make sense. And it's going to be like, whoosh, I have no clue what you're talking about, Betsy. So I just want you to know it's all good. I'm just going to give you a few examples today so you can kind of understand how I put together a meal. So again, just to clarify, I'm not counting calories, okay? Instead, I'm thinking about how to fuel your metabolism with the right balance of carbs and protein. So just to think about it a little bit scientific is carbs are going to be what give you quick fuel, okay? If it's candy and like processed carbs, it absorbs really quick. So you get a spike in your blood sugar and then you get a low in your blood sugar. That makes you feel crappy, and that also makes you feel like sluggish and craving things. So if you're craving things, it's usually an imbalance of your meals and snacks. So that carb, when it goes up and down, we're not going to want that processed carb. We want more of quality carbs. And I just want to say, don't skip the carbs, okay? Because I'm a big advocate of getting the fuel in there and quicker fuel, but having it absorb as slowly as possible. So quality carbs I'm aiming for, complex carbs. A lot of times for a lot of my clients, I do gluten-free because they tend to be inflammatory for some people. And so if you have joint pain and that kind of stuff, I'm going to do more gluten-free. But anyway, those carbs, in order to absorb slower, I add protein to it, okay? We need protein for our muscles and for joints and all of the body working. So we want the protein to be added. We also want maybe some healthy fat. That's a total bonus. That'll slow down the absorption of the carbs. And then maybe more fiber. So lots of vegetables. And you'll hear people say a half plate of non-starchy vegetables. That's because it's got a lot of fiber and it's going to satiate you and slow down the absorption of the carbs. So every time I put together a meal, I'm thinking about how to put all these components together. So again, I might calculate it for my clients, but let's not be so specific, and I'm not calculating it for you. So instead, I'm just going to give you 3 examples of how to balance your meals. So number 1, I think I picked smoothies. Okay, I thought about this ahead of time. Smoothies are where people go wrong a lot because you're adding usually a lot of fruit. Like usually you can't get away with just adding in like a half a serving or 1 serving of fruit. It's usually like 2 to 3 servings. People add milk in there sometimes, or they add juice. So it's like carb laden and fast carbs. Fruit is a very fast absorbing carb. So we got to be careful about that. So when we have the carbs, then we say it's like, and so I'm just going to show you my smoothie. So this is my protein powder. I love this, and a lot of my team uses it. A lot of my clients use it, and because it has a very good flavor to it, and it's already sweet, a little bit on the sweeter side. So you don't need to add so much fruit to it. So on my recipe, I tend to do like a half of a banana. So you can tell it's like a half of a serving of fruit, okay? And it's got this in here. So it's got some protein and some fat in here, and it's a vegetarian-based protein here, pea and rice. And then I also, in my smoothie, I'm going to add in, so if you think about it, that's the carbs and it's the protein. So it's already complete. My liquid in there is water because it honestly still tastes good with water, just water. Some people do like unsweetened almond or like coconut milk or something like that in there. So you could do any of the above. And then I like to add healthy fat into mine as well. So healthy fat would be like a nut butter. So in that one, that's a chocolate one with the banana. And then I add like a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter. And I shouldn't I should tell the truth here because I actually add a lot. So I add like a big heaping one because I am not scared of those healthy fats when they are in balance. Okay, so I add that, and then I like to add all that extra fiber that we talked about, and I add the spinach. So I usually, when I buy a bag of spinach, it goes in the freezer, and then I just pull out and big handful. Like my smoothies are green, and they look kind of ugly, but they taste really good. And Danielle just said, I love your chocolate protein with frozen cranberries. I've never tried that. That sounds yummy. And that would be like a lower glycemic fruit. So good thinking, Danielle. She's my partner here where she always is doing good stuff. So, so that's an example. You can tell my smoothie is not huge carbs as in so much fruit. It's going to be more in balance with actually like protein, healthy fat, and vegetables in there. So way different ball game than if you were to buy it at the store, at the restaurant. Oh my God, those are so high in sugar. Okay, I'm gonna give another example. Hey Becca, the next example is going to be salads. Okay, so salads are one that tend to be where people skip carbs. Okay, so a lot of people work at lunch. You know, they work on the computer and then they're working all day and then they have their salad. It's got no carbs in it. Then they get busy through the afternoon. They tend to skip that afternoon snack and then it's like exhaustion time. They're like falling asleep at the computer. And the start of that is because they didn't balance their lunch. So I want to think about how to balance your salads. So salad would be, yes, we have a lot of greens and maybe we have other vegetables involved. So that takes care of that. But we want carbs and protein. Remember, that's what we're aiming for. So people always think about protein when they think of salads. They think about a hard-boiled egg or they think about grilled chicken on it or nuts and seeds. So that's all good stuff, okay? But where's your carbs? Because the carbs are going to make you feel satisfied and hold you over for a longer period of time and not give you that low later, and also kind of control the cravings as well. So for me, in salads, I love chickpeas. I make quinoa a lot and I make brown rice a lot. So if I have that left over, I just throw, a handful of that in there. So I'm not being very specific with the portions, and some of you might be like, just tell me exactly what, but I really just want you to kind of go with the flow and be a little bit more intuitive when you're eating, just to see how you feel and see the effects. You know, a lot of my clients, I have them do food symptom logs because I want them to know when they're eating, what they're eating, how they are feeling, and just see the flow of the day instead of just like, is this good or bad? It's more of how it feels in your body. So those are two examples. The last example is more common sense. A lot of people for dinners are actually, this is their meal that they think about. They're like, dinner. I put together, the most typical that I always hear is grilled chicken, and I had brown rice, and I had broccoli. So like you are thinking about saying, I have carbs, I have protein, the rice is carbs, the protein's the chicken, and I added some vegetable to it. Maybe you have a side salad with some dressing and some healthy fat in there if you were to make your own dressing. So, or you buy a good one. So you can see that a lot of people put the thought into dinners, but no one really puts the thought into breakfast or lunch or snacks. So if you have a steady blood sugar all day long, that is what's going to calm down the adrenal response, where you feel less anxious in your body, you feel controlled, you have sustained energy, your mood is better. It's like so amazing when you do that. And then so small frequent meals is usually what I work with my clients, and then I figure out how to balance each and every one of those. So I hope that helps you guys. I always want to hear your feedback, so let me know if that was helpful, and I'm always trying to think of new topics, so let me know if there's anything else you want to hear about. And if anyone wants to work with me, I did just post this in my newsletter, is that my schedule is really full. Like it's never been this full, and I'm trying to set boundaries for my life and figure this out. So I'm kind of going to be starting a waiting list soon, and so and my prices are going to be going up in March. So I'm just trying to share that. I hate talking about money, and I hate sounding like my prices are going up, like I'm being salesy, but it's for real. This is what's happening. And I just want to give anyone the opportunity, if you set up a free consultation in February, or if you even at least dial that consultation in, even if I'm booked and it's in March, I still will lock you in at the rate that I'm going right now. So hope you all have a beautiful weekend, all that beautiful stuff, and take care, everybody.